Hi, ladies. Hello, gals. Oh my gosh. We are coming in today with an amazing guest. I am so excited to share with you, Jahnea. I actually feel like Jahnea and I have this special bond because we kind of got to build our businesses together in a way. We were a part of a similar group that I don't know about you, Johnny, but for me, I was like, why am I here? These ladies are amazing, and oh my gosh, it was just such a beautiful time of just beginnings, really. So, we're gonna share her with you guys today, but first, I want to remind you that we have Galentine's coming up. We have Oregon and Washington is going to be at the downtown Umpqua Bank I don't know what that is. It's like a conference room, guest room, something like it's beautiful. You guys will love it. We're gonna have all kinds of wonderful things happening in there. I know there's like a massage table, community room. Thanks, Amanda. um, I need my people to keep me on track here. And it's just going to be really great. Jahnea is going to be there. She has her team coming, and we are going to be pouring into her organization in multiple ways this year. So I'm super excited about that, and we will be sharing about that a little bit more in a few minutes. Also in Utah, so that one is $20, 20, I think it's 20. Maybe it was 25. Again, Amanda, yeah, we'll actually put the link in the comments so you guys can find it. I might be telling you the wrong price. Sorry, somewhere in there. Utah's not actually going to have a cost. We're just going to this great place called Sweet Treats. It's super duper cute. You guys are going to love it. So many photo opportunities. And what we're going to ask is that you get a dessert there. And, obviously purchase and support this local business. So make sure you bring your Galentine's self-care gifts to exchange. We're still doing that, but also make sure that you bring your, for the Oregon, Washington, I believe there's a list of things that you can bring for Jahneia's organization and the women that she serves. So make sure you check that out. All right. So if you're watching live, we would actually love for you to hop on the Zoom call. We've made this a Zoom call so you can hop on. We haven't done one of these. Actually, I think it's been a couple of years. So I know this is kind of new for some of you guys, but come and hop on. We want to chat with you, not at you. We went ahead and put it live in the gals community so that you guys can see what we're doing, but we'd really love to have you hop on. We're going to be talking about being present today. And the reason that we asked Jahnea to come in is because she is so present in the Oregon, Washington communities. We have loved watching everything that she is doing. As a team, we unanimously agreed that we needed to find ways to support her without, in some ways, we didn't even fully know how yet, but we knew like we wanted to work with Jahnea and what she's doing. So without further ado, I'm actually going to allow her to tell you a bit about herself. And Jahnea, thank you for joining us today. Let me just first say that. Yeah, I adore
Thank you.
you.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
And yes, can you share with us just, you have a pretty amazing story behind why you do what you do. Would you mind sharing that with us this evening?
Sure. Yeah. But first of all, I have to point this out because I don't know if you remember this, but my first introduction to you was in Shannon Lee's living room. And I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure that that was the meeting where you were brainstorming and trying to figure out like this whole gals thing. And so I remember you talking about that and the idea you had at that time in my life. I was just getting started with my fitness career and building Beat Studios 360. I had just become a baby certified Zumba instructor and wanted to like empower women and do all these things for women. And so I did that. And I feel like that was like, I don't know, like before life.
A million years
So
ago,
long
right?
ago. It's been yeah, like that's a BC moment there for sure. But it's been so cool to watch and see what the gals have done in the community, who you guys are as individuals, as leaders, as just women that 100% come and want to support other women. I was sharing this with one of my mentors that, I had a like 5 women this year I wanted to be intentional and get to know, and was so excited to see that 3 of those 5 were on your board and a part of gals. And so I'm like, this must be. So I'm excited to be here. I feel so honored and privileged. And so, yeah, my story is long, but I'm not gonna give you all the long details, but I guess, long story short, man, I don't even know. Let's see. Both my parents were addicts and alcoholics. My I lived most with my mom. I didn't meet my dad till later on, but my mom was in a motorcycle club, and we lived in Albuquerque. And so growing up, seen a lot of things that no child should see. I experienced a lot of things that no child should experience, and that could maybe be a story for a later date, but nonetheless, I from a very early age was in a lifestyle and an environment that wasn't supportive. It wasn't loving, wasn't compassionate, and I didn't know stability. I was in and out of foster homes. I've been to 17 different foster homes. Um, yeah, all of the things. And so, longer story short, I, at a young age myself, ended up following in those same footsteps, and um, started experimenting with drugs and alcohol, and getting in trouble. Moved out here to Battleground, Washington. And I don't know where y'all are from, but Battleground does not have a lot of brown people, or they didn't then. And so, I didn't get along with everybody. And so, naturally, I gravitated to the crowd of the kids who also weren't doing other good things, and really started my career drinking and using, moving into high school. And then I got pregnant when I was 15, and thought then that everything was going to change in my life. But still, I didn't have my mom. I didn't have any role models. I didn't have leaders. I didn't have women, pouring into me, and I continued to get in toxic relationships. And that just continued for years, and had a second child, and my addiction got worse. And so, found myself really in the depths of hell, is what I'd like to say, and using meth and doing awful things, and ended up in jail a lot of times, and then finally to prison. And so when I was 22 years old, I went to prison, and it was the best thing for me, changed my life. Um, but I learned really quickly there that drugs and alcohol were not my problem. I'm my problem, and my thoughts, my actions, my behaviors, my traumas that I never was willing to look at. And that is when I really started the beautiful journey of recovery, of sobriety, of spirituality. And I became a sponge. I wanted to connect with any leader that I could. I wanted to learn how to do life differently. Um, and that's what I did. And yeah, so I got out and was inspired to start helping other women. And I started helping other women and picking them up from prison, or wherever treatment, as soon as they got out, to just do their first days with them, their first weeks. And um, yeah, that grew and grew. And here we
Love
are
that.
years later. I started an organization where now I have a team of people that like to help women and do the same thing, which is really, really cool.
I love that. And I myself have been, I like how you put it. Was it justice impacted? I
Hmm.
have, been there too. My dad was in prison for most of my life. And so, it is hard to transition out. Like for a lot of people, almost impossible. So I love that you just jumped right in. And, we're talking about being present tonight, and you were immediately being present and helping. And sometimes that's just what it takes, right? You see a need and you fill it. I love that.
Yeah.
Now, I do want to share, so that's your past, and you're working, you're doing amazing things for other women. You also have an amazing present life. You're a grandma. Yay.
Yeah.
You have
Yeah.
wonderful children, a wonderful marriage. Can you share with us like about just how just share with us about your life now? Like I would
Okay.
love the hope that comes from that.
Yeah. Well, it's taken a lot of work and commitment and a lot of no matter what and a lot of redirection and constructive criticism and being coachable and teachable and all those things. And so today I am married to the same man. I've been just wait for me. We're all women here, right? Hold on. I should ask that. This is a women's group. Okay. 'Cause we're gonna talk about some real stuff. So it wasn't always
Yes.
that I was committed person. And so I have been with my husband for 9 amazing years. We'll celebrate 10 years married this year. He I'm going to get emotional because and I don't know, I prayed that God would send me a good one, and he blew my mind with my husband. He's compassionate, he's a gentle giant. He also serves men and helps men in recovery as well too. And so together, even though our adult children, because we have 5 kids, Bailey, Elijah, Alyssa, Titus, and Sebastian, it spells out Beats. So that's why I named my fitness business Beats Studios. You were there when I came up with that, actually. But anyhow, we don't get to go back to when our older kids were younger, but today we get to be a role model for them that they can look up to, and we have our younger boys, and our boys have never seen us loaded. They've never seen us raise a hand to each other, or we call it intense fellowship. They see us go through things in life, but they also see how do we work them out, and what is the solution. We try our best to live a lifestyle where we're in the solution and we help other people find solutions too. So yeah, my daughter is 22. Her name's Alyssa, and she just gave me Piper. And that's hard because they don't live right here close to me right now. Um, and it sucks. It's hard because I want to be with my grandbaby and my daughter all the time, but we have a beautiful open relationship, and she can count on me. My boys can count on me. And yeah. Yeah, we this last November we had a house fire, and something really dawned on me. I think as a mom from before, like, we all have mom guilt. It doesn't matter what, if you've had a super bad past or not, if you're a mother and you have yelled at your kids or whatever it is, like sometimes we just carry this mom guilt. And I thought I
Mm.
had let a lot of that go. But I recently, with our house fire, it just all of a sudden dawned on me finally, like all these years later, that I was a good mom. And what hit me was that I was able to be present, talking about being present with my boys, going through so much adversity and coaching them on, this is how we get through adversity. And I realized that, dang, these boys haven't really had it hard. Like I've really been able to give them a life where they have mom and dad that's there for them. And it was pretty magical moment for me just to have the ability to shut the things off that needed to be shut off and be present with them.
That is amazing. I love that so much. And I loved what you said about living in the solution. I mean, I can't think of a more being present thing, right? Like we all have those stories. In fact, we'll share, here in a few minutes, we'll open up discussion, at least with those of us on the call, and talk about some of that stuff. Like we all have mom guilt. We all have the things that we've made mistakes on. And I always tell young moms, I'm like, nobody parents their kids perfectly, right? And even if you do, they're going to see it differently than you did, no matter what, right?
Yeah.
So I love that. And, you and I have known each other for a long time. So we've both been able to see each other's pivots, like in so many different ways, right? Because that's what we do as entrepreneurs. But I think you've hit some niches and you've really gotten to a place. So you have restored and revived. You just recently launched Couve Cleaning Design, Couve Cleaving. I'm calling it design, but I don't know. Do you get to do some design? That would be fun.
We do,
But
and some organizing.
I love it. It's so much fun. And you actually are providing employment, which I think is, again, talking about that transition that's really hard. So can you tell us a little about those things?
Yeah. So Restored and Revived is we're a 5-year-old nonprofit. And first of all, I'm just going to put this out there that having a nonprofit by far is the hardest thing I've ever done in my entire life. Probably harder than getting over some of the addiction stuff. But we made it 5 years and it has taught me so much. Even though it's been so hard to do, it has really taught me perseverance and what resilience really is like. It's taught me how to think differently. It's taught me about what it looks like to, just attract leaders, and it's helped me grow, in my leadership and not be so wild and loud sometimes at the right time. But nonetheless, with Restored and Revived, we do case management, navigation services. We provide reunification services. So we start working with children while their parents are incarcerated. We recently launched a program with Vancouver Public Schools where we provide groups for kids whose parents are either incarcerated or deported. And so we start bridging that gap immediately so that way the restoration can begin to happen. That's just kind of one of the things. But the men and women that come to our program, they're either self-referred or usually referred from DOC or referred from one of our local treatment centers. So we work very closely with the treatment centers here in our community and are usually the first stop that somebody goes to. And so we get to be with these men and women and just be a part of their journey and offer them the services. And happened was last year, we didn't get some funding, and it really it almost crippled our organization. We had to go down to 2 employees. So myself and one of my other case managers were case managing 114 clients. It was exhausting, but with the lack of funding, we that also meant that we had lack in resources that we were able to give our clients. So when you have a mom that can only work part-time because she's also trying to be present with her kids have behavioral issues and need therapy and have IEPs and stuff like that. So when you have a single mom that has to pay rent, has to find gas or transportation, provide basic needs, and cannot have a job with a livable wage, and there's no resources for things like housing and stuff like that, what do you do? And so, me being, I don't know what you want to call it, but I had this great idea. And it's because I was inspired by one of my women friends in business who had a cleaning company, and she was like excelling in real estate and was like, "Hey, you want to come help me?" So I went and helped her on a couple of cleans, and immediately, she paid me cash that same day. Like, she cash apped me for the jobs that I did. And I love making money because I love giving money and I love showing other people how to do it. And so I was like, oh my gosh, like the light bulb just went off of my head. And so I posted on Facebook about it, and I had 4 or 5 people hit my inbox up and was like, come clean my house. We trust you. So that's how Coop Cleaning started. I literally started it because I just needed a way where these moms that wanted to come and show up, they came and they worked and were able to have money that same day for gas, for groceries, for the basic things. And it was so excited. It has lit a complete fire underneath me because these women that have been with me for the last 8 months, they earn a livable wage. They make, well, I don't know if I should say this on here, but they make more than I do as an executive director. I can tell you that in a nonprofit. And it's so cool because they show up and they have gratitude and they're excited and they love to see their work, and they're growing with me, and it's like I built another community with inside of a community. So
Mm, I
that's
love
Coop
that.
Cleaning and where we're at.
Yeah, and you sent me your mission, which I just love, to witness lives being restored and freed from the clutches of addiction. Your passion lies in guiding others toward brighter, healthier futures. You are truly doing that. Bravo.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's fun.
Yeah, we celebrate you. Oh my gosh. So I'm sure. I'm not the only one that's going to have questions for you. And of course, we want to open up for discussion. Johnny, thank you so much for sharing all of that with us. I am beyond excited and thrilled that we're going to find ways to work together this year and just continue
Yeah.
to grow that and make it better every, for as long as we decide to work together, which I don't
Yeah.
foresee changing anytime soon.
We're
I love
grateful,
it.
we again are just a small organization, and to have other women, I'm gonna get emotional, but like uh to have a group of women come alongside us and want to partner and want to do the journey with us and invest in not necessarily the organization, but invest as us and women, that is, women together are so powerful. And when you have another woman come along beside you and pour into you, whether it's just liking your posts on social media or whatever it is, it's like those kinds of things it's encouraging, and it really means so much to us. So thank you to you guys as well.
I love it. Thank you so much. All right. So we have Don Renee and Patty Lynn and Amanda on with us. I don't know if Amanda's going to be chatting tonight. I don't see her on the camera, so I'm assuming not. That's okay. Ladies, I would love, Johnny hit on several things that we could definitely talk about for being present, right? So what are some ways, let's just talk about, let's start with being spouses. What are some ways that you ladies are working on being present in that? And of course, Johnny, we would be happy if you wanted to answer this again, or to share maybe something that you didn't share and maybe brings up something different. So feel free to chime in as well. I would love to hear what you ladies are doing for that.
I am here on my phone, so.
Okay. Awesome.
Well, I can
Okay.
answer. We're going into this empty nesting phase here. And, so my sister said something about date night. And I'm like, well, every night it's just us, it's date night. And she's like, no, you still have to have date night. I'm thinking, we can't go out for date night every week. But really we found that she's right, and setting aside that time that is to be present, right? And to be intentional and to say this is our special time, not just, well, it's just always the two of us, but this is a special time that we're setting apart. We're going to connect purposefully on deeper levels during this time and enjoy one another. So it's kind of a big be present with your spouse intentionally.
Yeah. I love that. I find the same thing, I tell people, I'm like, I cannot relate to you how much time we have together. Like, it's just impossible to relay. But that being said, same thing. I guard our Friday nights. Like, that is our night for date night. We're intentional. We, put our phones away. We, turn on great music. We cook dinner together, and we don't always go out, but we're just so much more intentional. We're not just going to sit and watch TV. We'll try and, do something together. And like you said, connect on a much deeper level, conversation, things like that. And so I love that. And it's true. I mean, you got to do the same thing, I think. Even when you have kids, you got to set aside that time. But I think as empty nesters, you got to be just as intentional. Otherwise, you're just like two ships in a house, right? Yeah.
Hop in here. So we're in a really interesting circumstance that I think actually there's a lot of people starting to come into. So we're kind of in that.
Is Amanda talking?
Can you hear
Yeah,
me?
Amanda, you're really quiet.
Okay, is that better?
A little.
Is that better?
Yeah, it's really quiet. Shoot.
Okay.
Aw, dang it. Maybe it's probably a lot to type. Yeah, shoot. Maybe we could try again. Your speaker. Okay. Johnny, I saw you unmuted. Did you want to share?
I guess I could
You'll
share
have
a little
to.
bit about intentional time with my husband. It's I think it's something that, was taught to us about, just being married when we intentionally set aside time to have a date night. Or for me, being a woman, you struggle with hormones later on in life. And so when you're older and have younger kids, you know, that intimacy can be really hard. And so for us, it's like up here in the priority list of having just that time together for sure.
Oh, and amen to that, sister, with the hormones. Oh my goodness. That's a whole nother topic we could talk about for hours, right? Oh my gosh, yes, I love it. Okay, so how about other areas? Parenting, I did kind of like really segment off spouses, which I apologize. We
I
actually
was
have
gonna say,
multiple
we're the
types.
single lady,
I know
ladies
we
in the
actually
house.
have
Hello.
such a variety of ladies in here, and so I shouldn't have segmented it off. But let's go into, you know, parenting, relationships, that kind of stuff. Let's just do general relationships. What are some ways that you show up? And Dawn, do you want to head that up since you're unmuted?
Yeah, I think it's important. I mean, for me, I'm kind of spread out. I have a 27-year-old that's out and moved out. And then I also have my 16-year-old son that's living with me. We have two ships that live in the same house most of the time. But for the most part, I think what I really have learned over the years is really, and especially more so in the last couple of years, is just really being intentional and with the time that I have and what I spend. Um, not going into my whole entire story, but life is a struggle. You live each day and what it is. With my daughter, I work just to make that livable wage. So but now I didn't realize in the moment how important it is to be present until I here now with my son. And with that being said, it's like, I mean, it's trying to find that balance. And I think it's really super important because I think as parents, we have mom guilt, we have all these different things, and we have all these expectations that we put on ourselves. So having that balance and finding that and allowing ourselves to be present, because what I've realized over the years is that no matter how much you work or overtime and this, that, and the other, the only person that's going to really matter or know that you worked overtime are your kids and your family, because that's time away from them. Now, I'm not saying don't work or anything like that, but I'm just allow those times to be able to do those things. So like we've created Sunday. So Terrence and I will go do whatever, or we go to a different restaurant or do different venture, that kind of thing, and be intentional with that so we can allow ourselves to be present. I mean, not all the time can we be there 100% bodily, but definitely mentally and supporting wise. So that's always been my goal and mission to try to do, to be present. So
I love that. And you're so great. I love that. And I think what's beautiful about, you know, this community and what we have put together is like we can acknowledge each other and the effort that we put in, because sometimes the effort changes, right? It's different than, you know, like when you got little kids, your effort is different than when you got grown up kids. You know, right now, all I have to do is remember to actually like call my daughter sometimes or call my mom from time to time. And so it's a very different effort, but I'm thankful for, you know, the example that I see with you and that I see with, you know, some of our ladies. And it encourages me then too, to like, oh yeah, I should do better at making sure I'm calling my child. She probably doesn't need to hear from me, but she probably wouldn't mind, right? Like, so it's good. I love that. We can encourage each other. So cool. And now your daughter, is she still traveling? Just quite curious. Is Emily still?
um no, she just got back from the Philippines.
Nice.
And I'm still haven't looked at all the pictures, but it was amazing. She was able to support this scholarship nonprofit over there to help other students go to college and stuff like that from a friend that I know. So she's, I don't know, she came back and then I think she leaves for work for something else. I don't know. She's learned, I won't say she's learned from all my mistakes, but I don't know how to say what I'm trying to say, I guess she's learned the struggle, and she knows that, and she appreciates all the things. It does it's heartwarming, I guess, for me to see it finally, because it takes a while to get that payback as a mom. So you do all the things and you're like, oh my gosh, why am I doing this? This is so hard, this, that, and the other. She's 27 now, and then when she comes, well, she's after this next trip, then they're gonna try for babies, so we'll see what happens. So I know It's kind of wild.
I
So,
think we only have one in this group right now that's a grandma, which I'm kind of jealous. I won't lie, a little bit. I know. I
I
think
got
John A.
grandpups. I got
Yeah,
grandpups, but that's about it.
grandpups. Yeah, yeah. So John A. Can you tell us how is that? I mean, I know you're
Oh
distant,
man.
but oh,
Oh my gosh. So I actually have two granddaughters. I have Carter, and Carter is 6 months older than my youngest, Sebastian. So they're really close in age. She is gorgeous because, well, she looks like her grandma. So she's got this, she's, really super blonde, curly hair, and she's just but she's wonderful. I don't see her as much as I would like to, when my son had him young, and I didn't have the greatest relationship with her mom, but we've been working on that throughout the years. And so yeah, so but I love Carter. She's the apple in my eye. I love her. And then my little Piper, my daughter's daughter, let me just tell you that not sure if it's her, the baby, because obviously I love the baby, but there's something about when your daughter becomes a mother and seeing that. I'm so freaking proud of my daughter. My daughter had a natural childbirth. Don't know how she did that, but she did. And she it's just the most amazing experience. And so my daughter actually lives in Oklahoma right now. I moved her out there before she had the baby, so I got to be there when Piper came, and I was there for the first week and a half. And I will tell you that I don't think I've ever in my life experienced grief like it is when you are not with, like, not being with her and the baby. It was really hard for the first month. I had some wild emotions that came up that I hadn't experienced in a super long time. And so, you know um talking about being present, when you start having these emotions come up that you're not used to dealing, like, I had to pause, like, I had to take some time out and um figure out what was going on, because when we don't do that, like, your responses change, how you treat people changes, how you respond to other situations. So that with a house fire was like, I have, oh, time out. This girl needed a timeout.
yeah,
But
that's a lot.
now it's having the baby, I FaceTime her all the time. Piper knows my voice, she sees me in the, she gets all smiley, and she's coming in 3 weeks. So I cannot wait. I may or may
Oh my
not have only
gosh.
bought a one-way ticket. So Alyssa doesn't need to know that yet, but
I love that. You're not
she's
going
gonna have
back.
to
You're
work
not.
for her way back. I'm putting her to work when she gets here.
I love that. Oh my gosh, that's so precious. But and you also hit on a topic there of grief too, like how to be present in grief. I'll be honest, over these last few months, I mean, between my aunt died, my grandma died, my mentor died, I have had to really be present for myself. So I'm glad you said that,
Yeah.
because that is something that I've been working on. It's not just being present for everybody else. It's for me. And I've actually fortunately created an AI thread, which is kind of silly, but that has become an advisor for me in that, like, I've been straight up with it, like, look, I am in the muck today. I really don't even want to try and come out of it. What are some ideas for, like, what I can do to just give myself permission to just be in the muck. um, but learning, to give myself that grace, especially as an entrepreneur, when we're like, we have a million things to do, right? And recognizing, like, okay, I've been in that, like, one thing moment for a while. Like, if I could accomplish one thing, and that's probably all I'm going to accomplish, nothing else, what is that one thing that will make sure that we're continuing to move forward, so that I'm still accomplishing the big things and the amazing things that we have going on, but that's all I'm going to accomplish today, no more. I know I want to go hide back in bed as soon as I'm done with this.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's hard to show up.
Mhm.
At the end of the day, it's like, okay, how am I going to show up today when you're hit with all those things and emotions and um just, yeah, showing up. Like, I had to work extra hard, and I'm still don't get me wrong, like, I'm working hard today to show up, to get uncomfortable, to put myself in the center of the circle, to surround myself with other women, you know, because I know that when we withdraw because of these things, or we kind of, it's okay for like a day, but listen to the sad song and like, what are we going to do tomorrow? And, you know, it's hard. It's not easy. It's not easy going to community events sometimes, you know, but I got to be there because I got to show up today. You know, it's not easy going to the vision board workshop with women I don't know right now, and I'm hurting, you know, they're going to, you know why? Because we can see each other. You know, I can't fake a front, you know, I can only, you know, hold the things in for so long before another woman looks me in the eyes, and it's just like, but you know, like I'm working through getting through that and showing up anyways, has been what has, I think really launched, like the momentum that I'm having right now in my life, in my spiritual life, in my businesses, within the organization, because it's just, you know, having to show up and be present with where it is that I'm showing up at.
I love that. And sometimes the being present is just doing the next right thing, right? But then that's all you can do.
Yeah.
I love that. I'm the same way. Like there's been times where it's like if I say one word, if I just speak, the floodgates are just gonna open. And so then I don't want to be around anyone. And so good,
Yeah.
bravo for you for doing it still.
Well, it's either that or
Huge.
you're gonna like throat chop somebody. I mean, you never know. It could go either way. It's like I'm either gonna cry or like yeah, I'm gonna throat chop you and then have to walk away. I mean, that's me. So let's just keep it real, right?
I love it. Yes, absolutely. Yes. I love that. Now, Amanda, do you want to try again? I would love to hear what you were going to share.
Okay, can you hear me?
Much better.
Okay, I think I just had to readjust my settings because I had earbuds in, and I think sometimes they freak out the microphone system. So, okay, well, I guess it's jumping back to the couple, I guess just being intentional because in general and being present. And it's been an interesting journey, especially probably about the last 6 months, because there's been a lot of change. We're in a weird flux, which I actually think a lot of people are finding themselves in, what they call that sandwich spot where they get rid of the kids, and all of a sudden they have parents to take care of. And it's really hard when you're starting to parent your parents. You don't want to parent your parents, and it's exhausting. And so we've had to, as a couple, and also just in life for our own sanity, be really present with being honest about what's going on, and being present where it's like, okay, we're falling into the same conversations, so we need to like get out of that loop and not feel like we're going crazy too. And one thing we are doing, not as well as I want to yet, but we're gearing up for it, is to have one time a month where we go and do something. It doesn't have to be, mostly outside, and mostly, our goal is like hike or get out and about and just get away from the house when we can. As kind of our being present with each other. But also I think the being present to the point where, like, if my husband needs time away and we can't always be away together because of just our circumstances, I can say, go away, go have fun, and be okay with that. And he's always been really good about, he's a homebody. So actually it's probably more me kicking him out going, go away, where he lets me go out and about probably more than I deserve at times. So yeah.
Well, and he's kind of the main caregiver, right, of his parents. So
that has been our decision, to have him be there, because really in that circumstance, like I said, a lot of people are starting to find themselves, I think, in that circumstance.
Oh, yeah. I talk to people every day that have that. Mhm.
And you really do have to have a main caregiver. I mean, it's kind of like when you're parenting. Yes, you're both parenting, but often you're going to have one parent sometimes shoulder the 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 weight of most of it because just how it goes. The same with caregiving. You kind of have to select one person because first off, it's easier for the people being cared for consistency, and secondly, um, then you can have that ability to flux back and forth. So yeah, it's been interesting for sure.
I love that you shared that though, because I truly feel like I have spoken with so many people that are in that scenario now. I mean, it is just, and let's face it, the numbers just say that we're probably all going to end up in that kind of a scenario, right? Because of the baby boomers versus like it's going to happen. And, something I love that we've shared, with this whole series and cultivating your squad is it's not if you're going to go through stuff. It's when you're going to go through stuff. And so cultivating that squad of where we can talk about this stuff is so important. And that's why we started these in the first place.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why we, and I love that we started with being present, because you can't be intentional if you're not present. Like, it doesn't work.
Yeah, it's so true. I got to share something fun that we've been doing. I love this so much. It has been so much fun, both as a couple with our nieces and nephews and with our friends now. We actually just sent one to a friend, and I'm actually excited to maybe send some more to some more friends, whoever wants to join us. Hint, hint. So we have started doing this Lego challenge where we send a big old bag of random Legos. We did it with our nieces and nephews for Christmas. And we said, hey, you got your first challenge, which is to make something out of these Legos, just the ones in the bag. And you got to share a picture with us, and we're going to do challenges throughout the year. So we actually had so much fun doing that with our nieces and nephews. I was like, I think other people would enjoy doing this with us, and we should do it. We need to go make ourselves a bag. So we made one of our friends a bag. And what I am noticing with just being empty nesters and in this completely different stage is like, I want to find ways that we can not just pour into ourselves, but pour into the people around us, and find different things that we can do together that are fun and different and not just the same old, because we could fall into that easily. So I wanted to make sure that I shared that tonight too, because that's something that we've been doing that has been really fun. So let's open it up to a little more general. Like, what are some ways, that you're showing up? I know, Don Renee, you have been showing up like crazy on social media and networking events. And of course, I would love for you to share about that too. So not to call you out, but I'm going to call you out.
That's well, that's my thing. That's my jam. I don't know. That's where I don't know. I love meeting women at different stages of their life. I mean, I've gone through different things, kind of like with Amanda. I mean, having kids at the same time and taking care of both my parents, but since now they both passed in the last couple, it was 2019, and but being able to reach out, because I isolated myself because I was in my zone of doing all the things that I needed to do. And I just am now finding what I enjoy is putting myself, kind of like what Janae said earlier, also is putting myself around other women that I can learn and grow and do amazing things, and then just be able to empower other women to do the thing and know that they can show up too. Showing up is hard, and I say that to my patients too. I'm like, showing up is the hardest thing to do, because there's many days that you don't want to do what you want to do. And so, but with the social media and the networking, it's just amazing. Even if it's just those few minutes that you grab that attention of someone, I personally, I intentionally go out to try to meet people to see where they're at. I mean, and if they want to share, they want to share. It's not like a forced thing, but let's see. But I just like to hear people's stories. I like to encourage people to do what they want to do. I feel like I'm just this, I don't know, maybe I'm we talked about a connector, cheerleader, whatever. I don't know what you want to call me. I just like doing the things. I like enjoying women and empowering them to do their best, empower their day, to live their everyday life with a little dash of diva. Hello. Dedication,
Um,
attention, vision, and action.
Okay, you brought up a really great question for me that I want to open up with too for everybody. Is being present easy?
It's not all the time. I don't think. I mean, I've learned. I'm. I mean, people think I'm present. If I'm really honest, I am present, yes, because I'm trying to be intentional. But it's taken a long time, and here I am, gonna be 50. I'm still trying to learn and do all the things and be intentional. But just know that I guess where it's different or has shifted a little bit for me personally is because I know I'm being more intentional in it and trying to get more out of it versus just doing the things. Because sometimes you just do the things, and especially when it comes to your kids, they know when you're just doing the things. They know, they're like, oh yeah, you're here, but you're not really here, or kind of thing. And they're the first ones to call you out. So then the mom guilt comes in, and then you do this whole little vicious cycle of different things. But yeah, so oh,
Good.
my shower bar just showed. I've been really trying to. I don't have my. Sorry,
You're
never mind.
so
It's
funny.
okay. You're being present in your beautiful bathroom. We don't mind. Okay.
Yeah.
But
Being
yeah,
present, is being present easy for me? No. I have ADHD and I didn't know it until like 3 years ago. I just always thought that like there was something wrong with me that I could never shut my brain off. And so, I have had to really slow down over the last several years and really check my mental health. Um, I've had to understand like, okay, why do I tick this way? For my own personal self, like I follow a holistic approach to most things in my life, and having a fitness career for so long, it was really hard for me to wake up and face that, like, okay, I am the one now. I help so many other people in this area, but I'm the one now that I really have to address these things. And sometimes, depending on your background, like you wake up one day and all of a sudden you're like a ball full of trauma that you thought you dealt with, and coupled with whatever it is, can be crippling. It's not easy to be present. And so for a person like me, I have to work extra hard at that. And that means, and being an entrepreneur as well too, multiple businesses, it's like, okay, I had to tell myself, like, guess what? Business is going to be there in an hour. I need to turn my phone off, or like this person does not need my response after 8 o'clock. I had to work, where I'm putting in boundaries for myself. Like I caught myself doing it last night with Mariah. I'm responding to a message because I just got out of an event and I'm like, oh my God, it's 10 o'clock. Why am I, and you're 2 hours away, and so I not only have to look at it as a way as, am I respecting my own personal, like, being present, but am I respecting somebody else's time too? And so that's been a really big thing for me, while I'm working on what it looks like to be present, because I've been in direct sales for a long time. I've constantly built businesses. And when you're an entrepreneur building a business, like everything starts with you and everything finishes with you. And it's been just drilled in my head that if you are your own boss, tomorrow, would you have a job? And so I am a workhorse with that. And so, workhorse, all the things, like I really have to, like, okay, slow down to speed up. Sometimes you just have to slow down to speed up, or you miss it, you miss it. And I don't want to miss the things. I love what you said, Dawn, about being intentional. Like, intentional is one of my favorite words. When I had Beats Studios, it standed being empowered, activating true strengths. And so it was like the mission every day to be intentional. To number one, I need to be empowered. I can't empower anybody else if I'm not filling that cup up. Like, how am I being empowered, and how am I going to activate my strengths? Well, you got to get empowered and then activate the strengths to be able to pour that out. around you.
So good. Oh, this is such a great topic. Okay, what say you ladies? I would love to hear. And we have 8 minutes left and we're going to honor everybody's time. So we will keep right on time. We could obviously talk about this for hours. I could tell. I mean, we could do a whole conference on this topic because it's so good. So I'd love to hear, and then we'll call it closed. So you could share how you're being present, and or is being present easy?
Okay, no, it's not easy. Yeah, and I think there's so many distractions. And Jahnea, you said that you have ADHD that you discovered as an adult. And I've always had like a dyslexia. And then when I watch like little things on Instagram, I'm like, oh, that is part of ADD, whatever. So I'm like undiagnosed, but just have lived with my quirks, and just thought, I have to work harder if I have to be organized or that kind of thing. But I think when you do discover, get older, discover things about yourself and face it, fix what we can and learn to live with what we can't change, or slow changes sometimes. But I always say I'm a high functioning dyslexic, and it all works until all of a sudden it doesn't, and it's a bad day. I just last month I forgot to go to a friend's 50th wedding anniversary for her parents. I'm like, it was on the calendar and I was going to go the wrong day, and then I got it fixed in my head, but it didn't. I could never fix that anyway. It's just like one of those things, and you're just like, why? Why? But I think with being present, it takes intention because of all the distractions that you have to really know where you're going and what you're doing and stay on track, and forgive yourself if you get off that track, right? And get back on. I mean, I think that's story of my life. Yeah, that's just like what we do.
Yeah, I love that. Well, and it's what's really interesting to me when you say that too is you're an amazing first grade teacher. So that has to play in there too, right?
Right. And part of being present with the kids, which I love to be right in that little 6-year-old world, as well as make sure all the curriculum happens and they learn. But also, sometimes my classroom is a mess. And another teacher will come in, I'm just like, I'm so embarrassed. I've got these piles, and that's just something I've dealt with my whole life, is how to get that put away. But I prioritize being present with the kids. And my classroom's a mess.
It's first grade. I mean, come on. How clean can it really be? I love it. Amanda, do you have anything to share? Oh, hi. My dog is wanting me to be present with. This isn't Snuffy. This is Zoe. Hi, Zoe. She's like nudging me.
Your dog's like, please be present. Yeah. Well, animals are really good at reminding us to be present.
Yes, they are. Amen.
And so yeah, it's a good thing. But it's hard. Being present is really hard. One of the things that's a huge discipline for me that I'm working towards is, I can be present in conversations with my clients. I can be present in conversations with my husband, but there's a lot of times, like for me, like I'll be in church and all of a sudden I'm like making lists in my head of this, that, and the other thing. I mean, I'll do that in other instances too, but it's like my mind's, it's like, nope, it's got to shut off. Or if I'm exercising, like let's say I go to a workout class or something, it's like, no, I've got to be present in this action that I'm doing. I've got to be present in my spiritual life. I got to be present. So it's hard, and I don't think it ever gets easy, but that's okay. Just try again, right?
Yep, agreed.
Absolutely.
It's a continual practice, just like anything, right? I think that's the key. I love that. Well, so ladies, thank you so much for this wonderful conversation. Jahnea, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We're so excited to work with you. And I think That's the beautiful thing is like, we can think about doing things. We can think about working with someone or collaborating or any of that. And I'll be honest, I've been there where it's like, oh, I want to work with this person. I want to reach out to this person. I want to do this. And I never do. All because I get distracted or I've got something else going on. And what I've learned and what I've been practicing this year myself is just reach out. Jahnea, you said last night, you're like, oh, or this morning, I saw it this morning, but oh, it was so late. Well, luckily I have my do not disturb turned on, right? So it's like, it doesn't matter. You can reach out and they're going to see it when they see it. And it's great. And so I always worry about that. Like, oh, it's too late or it's this or it's that, or there's this thing or that thing, or maybe they're too busy. But I have recognized, especially this last year, that I need to just do it anyways. And then you know what? When they see it, they'll see it. They'll get back to me when they can. I don't need to get my feelings hurt if it's a week later. Just do it. Just do it. And I think, that's where we're at this year with gals. We're just doing the things. We've got Galentine's this week, guys. Make sure that you sign up. Super excited about that. And Amanda did put the details, guys. Oregon, Washington. Oh my gosh, I'm a little jealous. I won't lie. Got massage, hand and lip treatments, charcuterie. It's gonna be fantastic. Ours will be too. But I'm just gonna say, like, I would love a massage. But make sure you sign up for those. Jahnea is going to be joining us at GalaCon. We're still going over all the details. So we're super excited about that. We've been talking about some really fun things. We've been sending messages back and forth about, drumsticks and some fun things, just a little hint there. But make sure that you guys at your Galentine's, at our coffee conversations, at your times that you're just doing one-on-one coffees with ladies, let's find ways, with your family, everybody, let's find ways to try to be more present. And it can be as simple as putting this down. All right, we're going to wrap up. Any final thoughts from any of you ladies? Are your hearts clear? Is there anything else you want to share before we're done?
I just want to say that I am so excited for Galentine's. I've been wanting to go, so many times. I think that as women, we see these really cool things and we think, oh, I wish I would go to that, or I really wanted to be there, or how come I don't go to those things? And, I've done that with Galentine's. I did that with like Friendsgiving. I did that with a lot of things. And, I want to encourage you to not sit on the sidelines of your life like you're missing out. And so I'm excited to go and be there. I'm bringing 8 women with me because I want them to experience what it's like to be in an atmosphere of women, because there's something truly unique and special about moments like that.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that, Jahnea. And I think you're right. We need to have those friendships and women around us. So yay. All right, we're going to call it good. As you ladies could see, we could talk for hours, but we're not going to. We're going to go ahead and call it good. And I hope you guys will join us next month. I think we're doing, does anybody know what our topic is next month by chance? I don't offhand. We'll have to look, but you guys will see. Amanda's so great at posting those. That'll start in March, and then we'll have our call again in April on the next topic. And so we hope you guys will join us. All right. Until next time, have a great night, ladies. And build that squad. Oh, wait, real quick. Nope. Okay, I thought we had an answer to my question. All right. Have a good night, ladies.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.